4 days ago, Cristiano Ronaldo was being questioned by the entire football world. Was he too old? Was he slowing Portugal down? Had Roberto Martinez made a mistake by building his team around a 41-year-old superstar? After Portugal's disappointing draw against DR Congo, critics were everywhere. But 90 minutes later in Houston, those same critics were silent, because Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just respond. He made history. 2 goals, a record nobody had ever achieved, and a performance that completely changed Portugal's World Cup story. This wasn't just a victory over Uzbekistan. This was Ronaldo's revenge. And the scary part? Portugal may have finally found their rhythm. Coming into this match, pressure surrounded Portugal from every direction. The draw against DR Congo wasn't just disappointing, it was alarming. Portugal had dominated possession with over 75% of the ball. Yet they managed only 1 shot on target. 1. For a team packed with attacking talent, the performance raised serious concerns. Could they actually challenge for the World Cup? Could Ronaldo still lead the line effectively? Could Roberto Martinez solve Portugal's attacking problems? Those questions followed Portugal all the way to Houston. But from the opening whistle, this felt different. Only 2 minutes had passed when Bruno Fernandes tested the Uzbekistan defense. The intent was clear, the tempo was higher, the movement was sharper, and Portugal looked determined to send a message. Then came the 6th minute, the moment everything changed. A move developed inside the penalty area. The ball found Cristiano Ronaldo, and the finish was ruthless. The stadium erupted, Portugal celebrated, but this goal meant much more than a simple 1-0 lead, because with that strike, Cristiano Ronaldo became the first player in football history to score in 6 different FIFA World Cups. Think about that for a second. 6 World Cups. From Germany 2006 to the United States in 2026, generations of footballers have come and gone, entire eras have changed. Yet Ronaldo continues writing history, and suddenly the conversation transformed. The criticism disappeared, the doubt faded, the pressure shifted. Now the world was watching history unfold. But Portugal weren't finished, not even close. Here's what made Ronaldo's early goal so important. It didn't just put Portugal ahead, it completely changed the psychological landscape of the match. Before kickoff, Uzbekistan believed. They knew Portugal were vulnerable. They knew the favorites were under pressure. The longer the match remained level, the greater the chance of frustration creeping into Portuguese minds. That plan lasted 6 minutes. After Ronaldo scored, everything changed. Uzbekistan could no longer sit comfortably. They had to chase, they had to take risks, and every risk created more space. Portugal immediately sensed weakness. The ball circulation became quicker, the movement became more fluid, the confidence returned. Suddenly, the Portugal we expected before the tournament had arrived. And 17 minutes into the match, they delivered another statement. Most fans will remember Nuno Mendes for the free kick. What many won't notice is the role Ronaldo played before the ball even entered the net. Portugal lined up for the set piece. Uzbekistan's defensive line focused heavily on Ronaldo. Naturally, whenever Ronaldo stands over a dead ball situation, defenders become obsessed with him. That hesitation created uncertainty. That uncertainty created space, and Nuno Mendes punished it. His strike curled beautifully beyond the goalkeeper. 2-0. Game control secured. But tactically, the goal revealed something fascinating. Portugal were no longer forcing every attack through Ronaldo. Instead, they were using Ronaldo as a weapon to create opportunities for others. And that adjustment may be the most important development of Portugal's entire tournament. Because while Ronaldo scored the headlines, Roberto Martinez quietly solved a tactical problem. We'll come back to that in a moment. Because first, Uzbekistan nearly produced one of the moments of the tournament. At 2-0 down, most underdogs begin to fade. Uzbekistan didn't. To their credit, they continued fighting. And in the 29th minute, they thought they had produced something extraordinary. João Neves unleashed an incredible strike from distance. The ball flew into the net. The Uzbekistan players exploded with celebration. For a few seconds, hope returned. At 2-1, everything changes. At 2-1, pressure returns. At 2-1, maybe Portugal start feeling nervous again. But then VAR intervened. A foul on João Cancelo in the build-up. Goal disallowed. No comeback, no momentum shift, no miracle. And looking back, that moment may have been the final turning point. Because instead of entering halftime with uncertainty, Portugal entered halftime with total control. And Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't finished writing history. Every great striker needs service. And against DR Congo, Ronaldo barely received any. Against Uzbekistan, everything changed. The difference? Bruno Fernandes. For years, Bruno has been Portugal's creative heartbeat. The player who sees passes before anyone else. The player capable of turning possession into danger. In the 39th minute, he delivered exactly that. Spotting Ronaldo's movement, Bruno threaded a precise pass into the penalty area. The timing was perfect. The weight was perfect. And Ronaldo did what Ronaldo has done his entire career. He finished calmly, efficiently, relentlessly, 3-0. Brace completed. Critics answered, statement delivered, and perhaps most importantly, Portugal had finally discovered balance, because this wasn't Portugal forcing opportunities toward Ronaldo. This was Portugal creating opportunities collectively, and Ronaldo benefiting from the structure. That distinction matters enormously, because it changes the ceiling of this team. Let's address the biggest misconception about this match. Many people will watch the highlights and assume the story is simply Ronaldo scoring twice. That's true, but it's not the full story. The real story is how Portugal transformed tactically. Against DR Congo, 75% possession, 7 shots. 1 shot on target. Possession without purpose, control without penetration. Against Uzbekistan, 65% possession, 6 big chances created, 5 goals scored. The possession actually dropped. Yet the attack became significantly more dangerous. Why? Because Portugal became more vertical. João Neves accelerated the tempo. Vitinha moved the ball faster. Bruno Fernandes operated aggressively between lines. Pedro Neto stretched the defensive block, and Ronaldo stopped dropping deep looking for touches. Instead, he remained where he is most dangerous, inside scoring zones, inside the penalty area, near the goal. The result? Portugal became unpredictable. And unpredictability is what elite tournament teams need. Because knockout football isn't about having the ball, it's about hurting opponents. The 5-0 scoreline looks brutal, and in many ways it was. But Uzbekistan shouldn't leave this match ashamed. They showed courage. They attempted to attack. They looked dangerous during transitions. Abasbek Faizulayev continued demonstrating why scouts across Europe are paying attention. His pace caused occasional problems. His directness remained threatening, and there were moments when Portugal's defense looked uncomfortable. The problem was finishing. At World Cups, opportunities are precious. Elite teams punish mistakes. Elite teams convert chances. Portugal did. Uzbekistan didn't. That was the difference. The gap wasn't effort. The gap wasn't ambition. The gap was ruthlessness. And that's often the hardest lesson for emerging football nations to learn. At 3-0, the contest was effectively over. But Portugal weren't interested in simply protecting the lead. They wanted authority. They wanted confidence. They wanted momentum. And they continued pushing. Ronaldo nearly completed his hat trick after another clever free kick routine. The goalkeeper produced a superb save. Moments later, Portugal found a fourth. A dangerous corner delivery created chaos. The ball deflected cruelly into Uzbekistan's own net, 4-0. Then came the final flourish. 87 minutes played. Rafael Leão collected possession near the edge of the area. 1 touch, 1 glance, 1 finish, 5-0, game over. Statement made. Portugal had gone from uncertainty to dominance in less than a week. But let's be honest, this result will be remembered for one reason: Cristiano Ronaldo. Because this match wasn't really about Uzbekistan. It wasn't even about qualification. It was about legacy. Football history rarely gives us moments that genuinely feel unique. This was one of them. The first player to score in 6 World Cups, a record that sounds almost impossible. And perhaps even more remarkable is the context. This happened after criticism, after doubt, after questions about retirement, after suggestions he was holding Portugal back. That's what makes the story powerful. Not the record itself, the timing. Because football legends are remembered not only for success, they're remembered for their responses to adversity. And Ronaldo's response was emphatic. The victory changes everything. Portugal are now firmly in control of their qualification hopes. Confidence has returned. Momentum has returned. Belief has returned. Roberto Martinez will be delighted. Not because Portugal won, but because Portugal finally looked like themselves. The attack flowed. The midfield controlled. The defense remained composed. Most importantly, the team functioned together. That was missing against DR Congo. It appeared against Uzbekistan. The challenge now is consistency, because beating Uzbekistan and winning the World Cup are very different tasks. Sooner or later, Portugal will face elite opposition. Spain, France, Brazil, Argentina, Germany. Those matches reveal the truth. Those matches expose weaknesses. And that's why one question still remains. Cristiano Ronaldo silenced every critic tonight. He made history, he scored twice, he led Portugal to a 5-goal victory, and he reminded the football world why his name remains among the greatest ever. But here's the question nobody can answer yet. Was this the beginning of Portugal's World Cup charge? Or simply a perfect night against an opponent they were always expected to beat? Because the next challenge will be harder, the pressure will be greater, and the margins will be smaller. If Ronaldo delivers again, the dream becomes real. If Portugal continue improving, they become genuine contenders. And if both things happen together, the football world may be witnessing the start of one final legendary World Cup run, and that possibility should terrify every team left in this tournament.